So we all know those people, when you're in the middle of a task, you're deep in flow, and they come up to you and say, have you got a minute? We used to call these people bubble butts in the flying world. So you'd have this, mission bubble which would protect you from the planning, the briefing, the flying and the debriefing, and everyone knew that that was your bubble. But there'd always be someone that would come up to you just as you're about to walk out to the aircraft, and they'd go, I know you're in your mission bubble, but, and they'd ask you some random question about the summer party or something like that. Now, as I've explained before, they're not bad people. When we are stressed, we prioritise everything as urgent, important. So they'll probably think that what they've got going on is more urgent than what you've got going on. But how does that help you to give your undivided attention to your high value task? How does that help you to unitask? Well, one of the things is that we need to be prepared to say, actually, I am in my bubble. Could I come back to you a little bit later? And that's quite a hard thing to do because we're people pleasers. So that's the first thing, is actually kind of having the courage to protect your own bubble. But yesterday I was delivering my workshop for Opus 4, and they're a very, very close-knit team. And I heard something really lovely. One of the things that people said in a number of different ways, they said, but actually, yes, it's all very well to protect our own bubble, but I think that there is also a responsibility on us to protect other people's bubbles, i.e. don't be the bubble butt in the first place. So before I send that email, if I know that that's a time of day where they do really deep work, then I could put a delay on that email. Or if I'm coming back from an on-site meeting and I want to get on the phone and chew the fat with someone, which is a nice thing to do, I could stop and think, do I need to make this phone call? Do I need to make this phone call to them? Because actually I remember now that they were doing a project or something. So I thought it was a really great example of kind of taking that awareness and that, creating those conditions for unitasking, but taking it one step further and thinking about your impact on other people, because it's always easier to change your behaviour than it is to change other people's behaviour. And if you can resist the temptation to be a bubble butt, then actually you're creating the conditions for everyone to be able to do their best work and give that undivided attention to their high value tasks. And I hope you don't mind, I just wanted to share, I want to make an example of Opus 4 because they are a very close-knit team. They work really well together. And one of the things that struck me is they said, well, we don't just work together, we do, they just come back from a sort of annual trip, staff trip, where they just sort of went to, go and do some fun social activities, and they do lots of, charity walks together and things like that. So I think the thing is that it sort of reminded me a little bit of being in the military, because we didn't just work together, we often lived in close quarters, sometimes through choice, sometimes through design when we're deployed, but we were actually, we kind of lived and breathed what we did. And sometimes that can feel too much, but I do think it gives you an ability to tune in to each other and be mindful of each other. So I suppose the key takeaway from that is you are going to be able to create whatever culture you want more successfully when you are a more close-knit and cohesive team. And you do that not just by the things that you do in the workplace, but the things that you do out of the workplace. So this is an invitation for you to go and plan a staff social, basically. So anyway, I thought I'd share that. It's been lovely to work with these companies. I always learn something. If you would like a workshop on how to create a unitasking culture, then do reach out. I'd love to chat to you. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.